Today's Friday, November 2nd, 2012, and I'm with Carla Woodall in the Absentee Elections Office, which Carla is the circuit clerk and in charge of the absentee voting. Carla, the first question I want to ask is because I got a telephone call yesterday about all the utility workers that have been emergency deployed and not being able to vote. Will you tell me why they can't and what the problem is?
At this point, if they knew that they were being deployed 5 days outside of the election, then they do not qualify. But if they have found out within 5 days of the election, in other words, starting Thursday at 4:30 on November 1st, then they can qualify under a business emergency and come in and be able to vote on Friday or Monday of next week. If they are a military armed forces voter that has been deployed to help with storm relief, then they qualify under an emergency rule of the Code of Alabama, and that an emergency rule that the Secretary of State issued at 4:25 yesterday, and they are able to seek an application off of the website, what they call a UACAVA application, and they can email that to the absentee election manager in whatever county that they are a registered voter, and then the absentee election manager would transmit the ballot electronically. As long as the ballot is postmarked November 6th, then we can receive those ballots up through November 16th and be counted for the election.
All right. The website that they would go get the application is what?
AlabamaVotes.gov.
Which is related to the Secretary of State.
Correct.
Now, for people like me that didn't pay any attention to English, would you spell the name of that form?
The UACAVA, it's UOCAVA, and it stands for the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act. And it's to ensure that military who may be overseas or stationed elsewhere, including their family members and dependents who are overseas, there are certain laws that pertain to UACAVA voters. They are the only ones that are able to receive ballots electronically, but the ballot must be returned in the mail. They are also able to return those ballots through a commercial carrier, not U.S. mail. So there are certain provisions for the military since they are fighting for our country and working for our country. But as far as the storm relief, any National Guard or any military person who has been deployed qualifies to be able to process an application as long as they get it in electronically by the close of business on Monday.
And the provision for the emergency business workers, they're in New York right now, and will not be back by the election, and they would have to physically come into the office.
Correct.
So they're just...
If they have already been deployed, then they do not qualify. And the Secretary of State issued a press release and recognizes the fact that we have tree cutters and Alabama Power and utility workers that have all been shipped to the Northeast, and recognizes that there's an issue, but unfortunately Alabama law does not allow for any provisions for emergency rules as it relates to natural disasters and those individuals.
I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, and I didn't ask you before we went on camera, but about how many absentees have y'all processed?
Approximately 2,500.
Okay. And that's larger than you normally do, isn't it?
Not as large as 4 years ago, but it is larger for general elections, yes.
All right, is there anything else message you want to get out to the voters other than Carla works a lot?
The polls are open Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and please make sure you have a valid and current ID when you go to the polls.
Thank you.